In VRChat, you may have seen someone who has a model sort of like this, in which you can see a world that isn't really there, that shouldn't be there, because you can't see it from any other side like this. You can also probably see a cylinder, maybe. In my case, it's a cylinder that when you walk into it, there's a world there that is shown that doesn't look like it should fit inside of there. Basically, something bigger on the inside than the outside. I'm going to quickly show you guys how to set this up in Unity and port it over to VRChat. This is going off if you already know how to set up the SDK. I will not be going over that in this video. So first you want to go to this website right here. Let me quickly move over to it and scroll up. Right here, Impossible Geometry Non-Euclidean Cubes. This is pretty much what it does, this right here. So to set that up, you want to go all the way to the bottom of this website. The link is going to be in the description. And you want to download the Unity package right here. It's going to bring you to Google Drive, and you can install it right here. I already have it installed, so you just put that into Unity and import it. And you're going to get a file in Unity called stencil. Some of the stuff in here shouldn't be in here, like these materials. I put them in there myself. I have all my files cluttered with everything. Mostly should be in here though. So we're going to quickly set up something like this. So when you import, you're going to see this, and basically what you want to do is, in this case we're going to be doing something like this, in which you can look through a wall and see a player or some sort of character or something in there. And what you want to do is you want to create a plane. You always want to use a plane for these, because if you do not have a plane, let me quickly put cube on right here as a test. You can see my character here, but when you go to our side, you can see it, and it's a little weird. Normally, you don't want to be able to see the character from both sides. You want to have it hidden on all sides except that. So we're going to quickly change the orientation and the rotation of it, and change the size, because we don't want that large. That should be good. This isn't under there, right? Yeah, okay, there we go. So, basic plane here, and there's going to be these two in here, stencil geometry and stencil mask. The stencil mask shader here is what allows you to see everything that has the shader of stencil geometry. This can have as many numbers as you want. As you see, there's basic. These come with it: mask 1, mask 2, mask 3, and mask 4. Each one has this up here, stencils and stencil mask. If you want to, you can go in there and stencils and stencil mask, or geometry. This stencil mask here gives a number, and if it matches up with the geometry's number, like for instance this right here, stencil mask 1 and stencil mask 1, if I put the mask 1 here and I put geometry 1 in there, you're going to be able to see it. But if this was, let's say, 2, then you would not be able to see it unless this right here, the mask 1, was 2. That's why everything else disappeared, because this is all under stencil mask 1. So under the plane here, you want to create a material, name it whatever you want, and you want to set it to stencils, stencil mask. Set it to whatever you want. In this case, I'm going to set it to 5, because I don't have a 5 yet. And you want to put that onto the model, or into the plane. Normally planes you can't see from the other side, so it should be fine. Then you want to get any other asset or object you want. Let's say I got these from the asset store here for free. Simple. Actually, I'm just gonna create a cube. That should be much easier, because I already have everything set up for all the others. There we go, a cube, a basic little cube. So the cube here, you can see it from all sides. This you do not want. What you want to do is you want to go into stencil, and you want to find the stencil geometry. You can create a material, stencil geometry. It could be named whatever you want, even spelled wrong like I did. And you want to go stencils and stencil geometry. Match it with the number you chose for the mask, and you want to put that onto your cube. Now you can see it through here. This can be done with multiple different objects. If you want, you can have multiple different cubes, or in this case, I went into an asset store, got some free assets, such as the low poly vegetation pack for free. Went to materials and took these and set these. These would normally be normal materials. I went and set these to stencil geometry and set to 1, and that's why you can see these. If I set these to 2, let's say, you can't see them. Now, for putting this into VRChat, you want to just go to the plane. It doesn't have to be the plane, but it has to be the thing that's holding all the other objects. In this case, for this one, I put this character right here as the thing that's holding all the vegetation, everything in there. So if I wanted this one to move here, this character move, I put that character as the top that's holding everything, and I put the avatar descriptor in there. So here, I'm just going to go into the plane, add the descriptor, set it to right there, I guess. Doesn't really matter right now. Move that up, move the cube up a little bit so you can actually see it, because I know it's not going to work well. And upload it. Now, in the case that you want to sub something like I did before, in which you have a cylinder and you walk inside and you see questionable things, then you would go to your room here, you'd create it, you'd put a cylinder down. Now, this is important. If you have to have them walk in, none of the default Unity things that I know of, I don't know everything with Unity, I just really use it for VRChat, does not have a hollow cylinder. The thing about a hollow cylinder is important because when you walk into a cylinder that has the, let me see if I can get it, the material for the mask here, you won't be able to see it. If you're inside of the shape, when it has its mask, it will not load. If I were to go, it's 2D, but if I were to go into the plane somehow, this would not load no matter what. So that's why, because it's a 3D object, and if you were to go inside of it, it's not going to work well. But so, why you have a hollow object is so you can put it on there and you can see everything when you're on the inside. I put a cylinder on the outside of this as well to cover it up, but it doesn't work the best. Every other way I see doesn't really work well, but I don't mind it too much because it's not showing too much of the world inside. And you want to just set up the area around it, put the geometry material set to stencil mask, whatever you want, and that should work. These are the houses. I went to the material and set these to also have the stencil geometry, and everything's working fine. I went into the cylinder, the main thing is holding everything, the room 2 I guess you could call it, that's what it is, and I put the descriptor above it so you can see it. If you want to, you can put it inside of it, but you won't be able to see around and force players into you. And that's pretty much that. Don't have any animations for it, but for the other ones, such as the room 1 I have here. Oh, that did not. Okay, let's hide that one. Like this one here, because this character right here is the actual room itself, and has the avatar descriptor. It allows me to actually use animations with it and move it around. That's pretty much that. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'd be glad to help. And that is that. Quick last thing that I made a mistake about. This right here, the reason why the floor is going to be here in VRChat is that I use the plane as the actual floor and character. What normally you want to do is you want to create an empty, and you want to put the plane in the empty. This can be named wherever you want, and then you want to go inside of it, and then you want to make this like I'm going to get rid of the descriptor here, or remove components, and the pipeline manager. You want to go into the game object and you want to add the component there. You can set it up. It's going to be way over there for some reason. Set to 0, 0, 0, so it's right there in everything. It's going to be well over there, so you want to go to plane, and then you want to actually put it so it's correctly in its position where it should be. It should be around there.